Welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to look at the following WWE news and rumors. Alexa Bliss's new feud on Raw revealed. Roman Reigns and Jimmy set to face each other at WWE Hell in a Cell. WWE reportedly delaying Becky Lynch vs Ronda Rousey. WWE Women's star on the idea of feuding with Alexa Bliss. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more wrestling content. The main event of last night's WrestleMania Backlash saw Universal Champion Roman Reigns defend his title against Cesaro. After years of hard work and fan support, this was the Swiss Cyborg's first shot at the Universal Championship. In what was a brutal match, both the competitors took each other to their limits. However, ultimately it was Reigns who picked up the victory and retained his Universal title. Nonetheless, Cesaro impressed everyone in the match and proved why he belongs in the main event picture. Following a tough loss at WrestleMania Backlash tonight, he has finally broken silence through his Twitter account. In a short but very accurate tweet, Cesaro mentioned that he was so close to defeating Roman Reigns tonight. Following the Universal Championship match tonight at WrestleMania Backlash, Jay came to the ring to congratulate the Tribal Chief for his victory. He then went on to deliver a superkick to Cesaro, who was already in a bad condition after the brutal match. Immediately after that, Seth Rollins' music hit, and the Messiah walked down to the ring in a dapper suit. Rollins came face to face with Roman Reigns, but then went on to attack Cesaro. The Swiss Cyborg then suffered a vicious beatdown at the hands of Seth Rollins, who closed the show by standing tall. Rollins and Cesaro have been feuding for the last few months on Friday Night SmackDown. The two faced each other at WrestleMania 37 last month, where Cesaro defeated Rollins to get a major victory. While it seemed that their feud was over, that has not been the case. Now, after this attack at WrestleMania Backlash, the two will likely continue their feud. Rollins and Cesaro have been feuding for the last few months on Friday Night SmackDown. The two faced each other at WrestleMania 37 last month, where Cesaro defeated Rollins to get a major victory. While it seemed that their feud was over, that has not been the case. Now, after this attack at WrestleMania Backlash, the two will likely continue their feud. We might even see them settle it inside a Hell in a Cell match next month. Cesaro might be out of the Universal Championship picture for now, but hopefully, there will be many more opportunities for him to challenge for a world title in the future. On the final episode of WWE RAW before WrestleMania Backlash, Asuka teamed up with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke to take on Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. Interestingly, Alexa Bliss made her presence known during the match and suggested that she has an eye on one particular superstar who was inside the ring. It appears that Bliss was possibly hinting towards a feud with Asuka. Both superstars were briefly engaged in an altercation earlier this year. Bliss also managed to pin Asuka, which led many into believing she could challenge the Empress of Tomorrow for the WWE RAW Women's Championship. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and Asuka would eventually lose her gold to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Following that, she was engaged in a title feud with Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Now that Asuka has lost her title rematch, she is free to turn her attention towards other rivalries on WWE RAW. She would like to settle the score with Bliss, but it won't be an easy task. The feud will work wonders in establishing Alexa Bliss as the top heel on the Red brand, and we can see the beginning of this storyline as early as tonight. Bayley would enjoy feuding with the new version of Alexa Bliss, as long as they weren't replicating any Bray Wyatt storylines in the process. The former WWE SmackDown Women's Champion recently sat down with Joseph Stashevsky for the New York Post. When Stashevsky asked Bayley what she thought about Bliss' character change, she admitted that she thought it was cool. However, the role model wouldn't want to feud with her if it meant they had to redo stories Wyatt had already done. "It's cool," Bayley said. "I just wouldn't want to replicate any Bray Wyatt stories. So if I were to be in a story with her or go into something with her, I would stress myself out trying to make it different in some way. It's cool to see her do something like that, because I remember when she first came to NXT, when she first got signed to FCW, and I'm like, oh, this little girl's pretty athletic, and she's like, I did this, and this. She wore sparkles and spit out pixie dust. She's a complete 180 on what she is now." Bayley does bring up an interesting point. Since Alexa Bliss split from Bray Wyatt, she hasn't had an actual match. And there's probably a reason for that. Wyatt didn't have many matches during the character arc of The Fiend because the supernatural element of the character didn't translate well to actual matches. If Alexa Bliss continues to go down this path, there is a chance that by the time she steps into the ring, they aren't going to live up to the character she plays outside the ring, with the WWE Universe rumored to return to weekly events in July, WWE will no longer be able to pre-produce the character elements in front of a live audience. There's only one stage where WWE would want to book Becky Lynch vs Ronda Rousey WrestleMania. While it was the originally scheduled WrestleMania 35 main event, Charlotte Flair was added to the match, making it a triple threat. Ronda Rousey has been away from WWE for 2 years now, and it was only a month ago when she announced that she had been pregnant for months. The reason why Rousey left WWE was for motherhood, and it's finally happening. It's unclear as to when Ronda Rousey will return to the ring, but she sat out 2 years of her WWE contract. She will be expected to return to the squared circle sooner than later, but only on a part-time basis or for a short-term program. According to WrestlingNews.co, WrestleMania 38 at the AT&T Stadium has been discussed as the date to have the match. But WrestleMania 39 is reportedly being given strong consideration as well. WrestleMania 38 in Dallas has been discussed, but others in the company feel that it would be better to hold that match off until WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, since that is Rousey's hometown, and having LA host the show would guarantee more mainstream publicity. We hope this isn't true unless Ronda Rousey isn't ready to return by 2022. WrestleMania 38 would be a great place for a blockbuster match that could headline the show. Roman Reigns defeated Cesaro to retain the Universal Championship in the main event of WrestleMania Backlash last night. He had a few words to say about his challenger before sending a message to his cousin, Jimmy. In what is quickly becoming a post-title defense tradition, the tribal chief cut a promo while doing cardio work on the treadmill. It was typically solid. Reigns mentioned his incredible match against Cesaro at WrestleMania Backlash, saying that he respects the Swiss Superman.
I respected that man, Cesaro. I respect that man. I said he's one of the greatest wrestlers and ring wrestlers in the whole world, so what I do? I beat him at his own game.
But the most notable part of the promo came towards the end, as Roman Reigns turned his attention towards his own blood relative. Here is what he said to Jimmy.
If my own blood wasn't hating on me, wasn't doubting me, it's all motivation to me. And you get it all the time, and it motivates you to do the work. But when it's within your bloodline, within your family, it hits way harder. And I had to go out there and I had to show them. So Jim, don't text me, don't call me, don't FaceTime me, don't tell your brother to text me, don't hit me up on the group chat. We're gonna have to talk about this one, but we're gonna do it on my show, Friday night.
Roman Reigns and Jimmy will have a confrontation on SmackDown. This comes after the recently returned star refused to fall in line behind the tribal chief. WWE has done a good job in telling the story between the Anoa'i family members, ever since Reigns began his program with Jimmy's brother Jay. The two of them faced off multiple times for the Universal Championship last year, with the feud culminating in an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell at the namesake pay-per-view. Jimmy got involved in that match and unintentionally cost his brother the bout. As a result, Jay became Roman Reigns' right-hand man. With Hell in a Cell as WWE's next pay-per-view, Jimmy could try his luck against his dominant cousin inside the cell. A similar stipulation could be in play, with a lot of intrigue surrounding the story. There are so many questions. What will happen when Roman Reigns and Jimmy come face-to-face on SmackDown? Is a Hell in a Cell match on the cards? Will Jimmy eventually join forces with his cousins to form the Bloodline? We will have to wait until Friday to find out.